All right, Coach Wilson, just the biggest observations you've had of spring ball at this point.
The biggest observations, I think that, Coach mentioned it today. We got a lot of back and forth out here. There's a lot of good competition going on both sides of the ball. Had some guys that have been able to come out and get a lot of opportunity. Some guys that have been behind some great players, and their time is now, taking advantage of the opportunity. And I think that what you're seeing a tremendous attention to detail, being able to transition from meetings to walkthroughs to the field. It's been reassuring as a staff that when you watch tape one day, you hit it in a walkthrough, you hit it in a meeting, and you're seeing it get corrected on the field. That's been encouraging to see from these guys.
Specifically on the defensive side, how's this group benefited from the time that you've had to capitalize on what you were able to do in the fall, and especially here in the spring?
Well, I think it starts with Coach McManus and his staff and Brooke Young and what she's done academically with these guys, because what it's allowed them to do is, in both ways, they've had zero distraction in terms of anything unfootball related, because they're ahead of where they should be academically, so nobody's stressing there as we get toward the end of the semester. So they've been able to put a lot of time into studying playbook and film. And then Coach McManus has these guys mentally and physically prepared to get out here and compete every day. So I think it starts with those two individuals and their staff and what they've been able to do with these young men, and obviously these guys buying into that as we've preached to them for the last couple semesters here. So, but yeah, I think it's set them up to come out here and have a great clear mind and a great level of focus every day.
The last time we saw Noke Mawal in the game in 2019 to now, where's Noakes improved in the time, or just getting bigger, faster, stronger, but also schematically in terms of ways you can use him?
Obviously, we look at him as a guy that can be extremely impactful, and he's either going to make a play or he's going to free somebody else up too. So everybody else on the field benefits from just Noke being out there. But I think that the other thing that you've noticed with him is he's really embraced taking control of this unit, not just in the D-line room, but filtering on throughout the defense and the football team. And I think that's where you've seen Noke grow. But yeah, you're just seeing when he's out there, he makes everybody better. His presence creates energy and excitement.
I don't know if you necessarily have the numbers on you, but it seems like everybody up front on the defensive line is bigger, is stronger, and just – not to say that looking the part is the biggest part of it, but it seems like the guys who did come back, much beefier guys than what you've had maybe in the past.
Absolutely, and you said it. I mean, they really committed to that in the offseason and the time that they've had and taking advantage of that opportunity. And I think, when they were able to digest, what was going on and what we needed to do moving forward, they knew that it was going to be best for them, and it was going to put them in position to come out here and as you said, be bigger, be faster, be stronger, and be much more dominant at their position. And you've seen it on both sides. And that's what, Coach says it all the time. It all starts up front, and that goes both ways. We make them better, they make us better. And as a football team, when you're competing like that up front, you're doing some really good things.
I think it was going into 2018, but it seems like this spring reminds me of the spring heading into 2018 where Kelvin, was getting a lot of reps, getting a lot of opportunities. Unfortunately for Kelvin, I think got hurt either in the spring or right in the fall, right before the season started. Now, of course, he's one of the main guys. He's been behind so many talented guys here, which we talked about back in the fall. Where's he kind of slotted in terms of just the leadership on that side of the ball for you? Because I know you demand a lot of whoever you kind of give those reins to.
Sure. And I think that the biggest thing with Kelvin, it's a couple things. With the way that the trend that you're seeing in college football today, Kelvin ain't gone anywhere, and he's here, and he loves it here, and he loves his teammates, and he loves this program, and that's being rewarded. And he's developed within a program and within a scheme, and it's put him in position that although, he hasn't played a lot of snaps, he understands the defense. He knows what everybody's supposed to do, gets people lined up, and it puts him in position to obviously execute his responsibility on a consistent basis. And so that's what I see with Kelvin, and that's been his growth, and is a tremendous example to sticking with it, committing to a program and being invested. And obviously I believe that commitment's going to be rewarded for him in a big way.
And again, it's been a storyline we've gone through multiple times with you, but Matt Thompson, a great example in that room too, being a guy that was a walk-on for you when you guys first got here, and now being a main contributor. And even someone like Keith coming in that may be new, you can tell looks the part, maybe has to learn more of the scheme, but it seems that's a room that's kind of balanced in terms of all the different storylines and all the different guys that add good things to your program.
Absolutely, and Coach Morgan's done a great job of bringing all those guys together, bringing all those personalities and skill sets together, getting them in the right position, whatever package we're in, and it helps when you have older guys that have played a significant number of snaps, as Matt has, that he can play multiple spots, and he serves as that type of versatile player, and then that leadership obviously infiltrates on throughout the room, and then you mentioned a guy like Heath, where Heath just is a guy that comes out every day and just plays hard. He plays hard and he gets better. He's been much more consistent these last few weeks, and he's starting to stack performances on top of each other, which is what we're looking for. And he's shown an ability to execute at a much higher level consistently, which has been encouraging.
Caleb Newman's been someone who's had a lot of playing experience, of course, been battling some injuries here in the spring and getting out there, which has opened the door. And I think your biggest strength, no question, is up front. But I don't think the back end of your defense is too far behind. Where's your depth at in terms of your corners and your safeties with your defense right now, Coach?
To me, it's as talented and as deep of a group that we've had since we've been here. And most importantly, it's the most competitive that group has been, I think, since we've been here. And they drive each other. They love seeing each other make plays and have success on the field. So there's a great commitment to each other there, and this goes back to whether it was the Rondell Greens or the Jamal Jones or the Denzel Bonners or all these guys that have been here over the years. The expectation is the position, and we tell these guys all the time, you either set the expectation or you elevate it. And I think that they understand what that expectation is, but now they're taking it on themselves. A guy like a Mekhi Ware, J.J. Henderson's come in and done a great job. Obviously, we've got Michael Thomas back there, Ty Hambright, and so on, that they're elevating the expectation and the standard in both of those rooms. And that's been great to see, because, as you know, you need them all. They're all going to play special teams. They're all going to play throughout the course of a season, and you need them all, and you never know when your number is going to be called. So you'd better take advantage of the opportunity that you get in the spring to prepare yourself to go compete in the fall.
One of the names I heard you say a lot in the fall, it seems like it's continued here in the spring, is JP. Guy that was Division III, comes to this program. I know there's still many areas where he's got to improve, but you mentioned the competition. Where does he bring that competition side from him, and just kind of that D3 mindset of coming from a Division III program and coming here, and it seems like he's been able to make an impact?
I think the biggest thing with JP when he got here, the first thing that we noticed about him, outside of some length and some ability, extremely coachable young man. And when I say that, I don't mean he's he's a yes sir, no sir guy, but he's a guy that you don't have to tell him things over and over and over. You don't have to repeat yourself to him. Coach Stuck's done a great job of bringing him along, and JP obviously came here with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, as you would expect, as you said, coming from a Division III program and having an opportunity to go compete at a Division I level. So he came here with that mindset that he was just going to come and work, and everything was going to be earned, and he's done that, and he brings that every single day, and is another guy that's shown the ability to play multiple positions back there, tremendous athleticism, and still learning the game a little bit. He hadn't played a lot, so he's still learning the game a little bit. So a lot of times the first time is something, it's new for him, but he's able to take that day in and day out, and really seen a lot of improvement out of JP.
So you got the spring game still over a week away, but it's going to be here in a blink of an eye. What's kind of your checklist right now as you've gone through spring ball and as you got these last just over a week and a half here left, Coach, of what you really want to see from your group as you begin to close it out?
Well, I think it started with us as a staff making sure that we had the guys in the right spots based on what we're trying to get done and who they are, and constantly trying to find the right recipe of the right 11 on the field and everything that we do. And then the challenge to them has been, and we hit them with this before our scrimmage last week, is that in order for us to be what we want to be as a unit and to get this football team where we want it to be, that the whole of our unit's got to be greater than the sum of its parts. And obviously we've got guys, as you've mentioned throughout, that can rush the quarterback, can blitz, can cover. But in order for us to be what we want to be as a unit, all those pieces have to work together and have to be on the same page consistently. And that's what we're striving as we finish up here to maintain and that consistency throughout, so that we come out of this thing feeling like the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And I think that they've bought into that and they understand that, and they've really committed to each other to get that done.